Hello, BookTube. Hello, friends. Welcome to Lizzie Faye Loves Books. I'm Elizabeth. And even though we only have about a week and a half left in the month of February, and I should be doing my March TBR at this point, I never really talked about what I was reading for February, except for what I was reading for the Little House Readathon. Now, I filmed my wrap-up for January in like the first week of February, but that took me a week to get edited, so that didn't come out until after the Little House Readathon was over. And I did mention two of the books that I listened to on audio before the Little House Readathon started. So you already know basically what I read in the first half of the month. But I have lots of other things I'm reading. I have just a whole box full of books here that I hope to get to still. I've read quite a few of them, and I've had a pretty good reading month so far. So it's a little past the middle of the month, but let's just kind of consider this a mid-month update. And I want to quickly go through everything I've read so far in the month of February and just talk a little bit about what I hope to read before the end of the month. Now, if you saw my 2020 reading goals, I mentioned that I was going to be reading from lists. I have 16 categories or lists of books that I'm trying to read one a month, or in a couple cases two a month, each month from those lists. And since I really didn't solidify that until the middle of January, I got 8 of them done in the month of January. Now, I did read 23 books, but I got 8 of those lists done. I've read from 8 of the lists out of 16, so that's pretty good. So far for February, I haven't even counted how many that I have finished as far as the lists go, but I have stuck with the lists much better since I kind of knew what direction that I was going in. In fact, I think I've only read 2 books. Well, I have one that I'm currently reading and one that I finished that are off the list as far as, you know, these 16 categories. And they are on my 20 by 20 challenge. It's just that it's a series that I started at the beginning of 2018. So it's fine to go ahead and keep reading that series because it's all part of the challenge. So anyway, let's just go through what I've read so far and what I'm currently reading and what I hope to get read by the end of the month. Kind of like a Friday Reads, except that today I'm filming this on a Wednesday, and it's probably within a half an hour of Emily's bus getting here, so I may have to pause it and pick back up after she gets off the bus. But anyway, let's just go from here. So the first 4 books that I listened to before the Laura Ingalls Wilder Readathon, one of them I've already talked about, From Here to Home by Marie Bostwick. That's kind of part of the Cobbled Court series. If you look on Goodreads, it's listed as book 2 in Too Much Texas, but it's all related to Cobbled Court, so I kind of think of them all as one series. But that was the last one of those books in that series, related series, that I needed to read. Then I already also mentioned Dead Man's Walk. I listened to Streets of Laredo in January, and then I went right on and listened to Dead Man's Walk because I wanted to get it done so that right now during Tome Topple I could listen to Comanche Moon by Larry McMurtry. It's a chunker, so I think there's 750 pages. I'm listening to this on Audible. I bought the whole series with my Audible credits last year. Well, I bought some of them last year, and I think the last one I bought this year. Anyway, this is really good so far, and I love the series. It can get graphic. It's not a comfort read by any means, but it's epic. So if you've ever thought about reading that, then, you know, Lonesome Dove especially, you definitely, I recommend Lonesome Dove. Whether you go on and read the rest of the series, that's up to you. But, well, it's also up to you if you want to read Lonesome Dove. But just know that I recommend it. And so far, I recommend the whole series. I think it's definitely worth reading. And this is kind of a Western-themed month for me. You'll see as I continue, because those are not the only Westerns that I am reading this month. But before I get too far, before I get to my list, let me just actually, no. Yeah, before I get to my list, then real quick, I already did a Laura Ingalls Wilder wrap-up, but I'll just show you quickly in case you missed that, what all I read. I did listen to Caroline, Little House Revisited by Sarah Miller on audio, and then on audio cassette, I listened to Farmer Boy by Laura Ingalls Wilder. I think this was maybe only my 3rd time reading that or listening to it, and it gets better every time I read it. Then some kids' books that I read, Prairie Girl, The Life of Laura Ingalls Wilder by William Anderson, and also by William Anderson, Pioneer Girl, which is made for a little bit younger audience. but similar information. And then Laura Ingalls Wilder's Fairy Poems. And then The Little House Guidebook by William Anderson. So a very comprehensive guide to all the Little House home sites. Okay, so now I want to get to my list. I have a list of 16 categories, and I'm trying to read at least one book out of each category each month. Always there's going to be exceptions, but this is a goal, you know. So I put at the very top of each list kind of my priority are book club books, because it's always important to, if you're going to be in a book club, to try to read the book before the book club happens. So for February, I read, actually both of our books for book club are Westerns. I read The Cold Dish by Craig Johnson. This is the first Longmire book. I have watched some of the TV series, and I really kind of like the series better. Liz Schubert, don't hate me. This is okay, but it's a little... it has a different atmosphere than the series, the TV series. I don't know. I'll probably read some more just to see how it goes. And maybe it's because I watched the series first, and that's kind of the feel I was looking for, and this is a little different. It's a little grittier, maybe. There's definitely more foul language in the book than I recall in the show. And then the next one on my list is for my regular book club, and we always like to read at least one Florida book each year. So we are reading Ghosts of the Green Swamp by Lee Gramling. This is a Florida cracker Western, and I'm about half done with it. Our book club actually meets tomorrow, but I'm really enjoying it, and once I get done with this video and get it uploaded, I've got to get back to reading this. We have a whole series of these. There probably are more in the series than just these, but this is a series my husband and I started reading several years ago, and I've read some of these. I don't remember if I've ever read this one or not. It's not ringing any bells, but it's really good so far. It's written in that kind of country style where you almost have to read it out loud in your head to really translate into actual modern English what they're trying to say, but it's fun. So then I finished finally the last book I needed to read for my other book club that meets outside the library. We're kind of on a hiatus right now, but we picked like 3 books to read back in November, and one of them I had already read, and the other one was Land Remembered, which I finished back in maybe in December. And the other one I was just having a hard time getting into. It's Every Breath by Nicholas Sparks. I don't have a physical copy of it with me right now, but I'm finally done with it. I just was not interested in it. It was kind of sappy. I hate to say that. I don't want to be critical, but I just wasn't buying the romance, and I just didn't care for it. So maybe it's because I didn't really like the characters that much, especially the female. I just thought she made some really poor life choices, and I had a hard time sympathizing with her because it was like, well, you made that choice. Now you got to live with it, that kind of thing. And I don't know. I think I would, if it were a real life situation, I would probably have a lot more empathy. But since it's fiction, I can, just dismiss it, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, so I got those done for book club. Now, I have already started my mystery book for March because I want to start reading ahead, because my April book is going for our mystery book club is going to be my March read-along for March Mystery Madness, which is The Lion Game by Ruth Ware. So our March book is Buried in a Bog by Sheila Connolly. I don't have a physical copy of it either. I loaned it to someone last week because we had very few copies, and I'm listening to it on Hoopla on audio. So it's the first book in the County Cork series by Sheila Connolly. Then, so going down through my list, I have one of the categories is to read a Miss Read book. And I don't think I'm going to get this one read this month, but the one I have slated to read next is Over the Gate by Miss Read. And then the next category is a Grace Livingston Hill book, and I don't think I'm going to get this one read either, but the one I have slated to read is A Girl to Come Home To. There's 3 books in this book, so I only need to read this first one, and that'll be the next Grace Livingston Hill book that I read, whether it's this month or April or whenever. If I don't get it read this month, I'll probably bump it to April. Then I have read the next category, which is a Newbery winner. The book that I listened to on audio on Hoopla was Amos Fortune, Free Man. I wanted to listen to, I picked this one because it was a Newbery winner I hadn't read, and it's Black History Month in February, and also there's a read-along or a readathon hosted by, I think is her name Dee or Dee Dee from Brown Girl Reading on YouTube, and I know Troy Towell always participates in hashtag ReadSoulLit, and I thought I ought to read at least one book this month for that challenge. So there is my participation in that. I had some mixed feelings about it. In a nutshell, I think it kind of sugarcoats slavery a little bit. It's not a horrible book. It's biographical as far as I know. It's listed as being a biography, so I'm assuming that Amos Fortune was a real person. And he was able to, if what this says is true, he was able to pull himself up and buy his way out of slavery, bought his freedom, and continued to make a good life for himself after he was out of slavery. So, it was good because of that. And if you are a Newbery reader, then, this is one that's a winner. So, I don't want to say I recommend it because I think there's probably better books out there that describe slavery even in a way that children could read it and not be too scarred by it. But I think it's also important that children know that slavery was a bad thing and we don't ever want to go back there. So, I don't know. I have mixed feelings about it. Then the next one on my list, the next category is the series of unfortunate events. So I'm ready for book 3, The Wide Window by Lemony Snicket. And then the next list I have here is the Audible Category Challenge. So I did draw out 2 categories for February. So if you're reading along with me, the categories for this month are Immortals. And I'm going to read or listen to a little book by Caroline Mickelson. And it's called The Christmas Makeover. Then the other category was Time Travel. And I'm going to listen to a book called Snow Globe Romance. And I did not write down the author of that. I apologize. So then the next category is, the next few categories are stacks, books from stacks off of my 20 by 20 challenge. So my stack of cozy mysteries is stack 14. I have a list of 14 cozy mystery series that I had started before I started my 2020 challenge in 2018. And the goal is to read at least one from each of those books in that 3-year period. And then within each year, read at least 14 books from the series during any of the given years. So I realized when I tallied everything up, I only read 13 books out of these 14 series in 2019. So I just missed the mark, but that's okay. I'll read more than that in 2020. So the book from that stack that I listened to already in the month of February is from the Coffee House Mystery Series, Espresso Shot. As this series goes, this was probably one of the better ones that I've read so far. Very action-packed, a lot of stuff happening, a good mystery, and a lot of action. So then the next stack is to read one book from Stack 3. Now, Stack 3 is a stack of 3 different series that I said I wanted to read from start to finish within the 3-year period. So I have not started 2 of the series, but the series that I had already started, I'm on book 5, and that's the Kingdom Keeper series. I'm listening to Shell Game. This is also a tome, so I'm listening to this for Tome Topple. And when I'm done with it, my library doesn't have any more on CD. It doesn't have book 6 or 7, but they are on Scribd. So if I can get to it this month, I'm going to go ahead and listen to this because this was supposed to be for January and I didn't get it going really good until February. So that's kind of my January book, and this will be my February book if I can get it done. If I'm stay a month behind, it's not the end of the world, but that's kind of my goal. Then the next stack is to read 2 books. They can be from stack 17 or stack 19. Now, for my stack 17 and 19, those are both stacks of series that I started prior to 2018. I think one of the stacks are YA and middle grade series, and then the other stack is series that I had started that are still being written. So I don't remember which is which, but I did finish 2 books, so I think they are from different stacks. One of the ones is the one I already showed you. That was one from one of the stacks. And then this I listened to back before the Little House Readathon. This is from the Jane Whitefield Shadow Woman series by Thomas Perry. This is book 4, The Face Changers. Jane Whitefield is a part Native American. I think Seneca is her tribe. She's from New York, and she helps people disappear. Maybe people who are in danger, not necessarily criminals. She doesn't really ask them questions, but she helps them disappear if they are in danger, and she's good at it. So it's an interesting series, really good crime fiction. And because I listened to book 4, I'm ready for book 5. So that's perfect for March Mystery Madness. It'll be the 5th book in the series. So then my next stack is to read one book from either stack 8 or stack 18. Stack 8 is a stack of standalones, and one of the book I had down here that I was supposed to read in January and I didn't, technically not a standalone, but it can be a standalone, is the Annotated Hobbit. So I didn't get very far in it. I've read The Hobbit before, but I really wanted to read the annotated version that I own. And so that's still on the back burner, but at some point this year, I want to finish that. But then from stack 18, that is a stack of 6 trilogies. So that equals 18 books. And the one that I want to read next, I'm going to buddy read with my sister. This trilogy, it's the Candlewood trilogy by Delia Parr. This first book is A Hearth in Candlewood. I don't know how soon we're going to get to this, but Charlotte, if you are watching this and you want to, we can start anytime. I will drop everything else and we'll read that together. So I had wanted to buddy read a different series with her. I gave her this Heavenly Days series by Lord Copeland and Angela Hunt back when I went to visit her in the summer. And I was talking to her the other day and she's already read the whole series. I was like, I wanted to buddy read that with you. But anyway, it's okay. And she's like, well, I'll read it again. It was really good. So, oh, Emily's bus is here. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So the next stack is stack 9, which is a stack of series that I've started and I just want to finish before the end of 2020. So one series that I had not read any from in the last couple of years, but I have picked back up because I realized that they are on Hoopla on audio. So I have already listened to The Remnant by Tim LaHaye and Jerry B. Jenkins. And I don't think I read anything from that stack last month. So if I have time, I will also listen to Armageddon, which is I think the next to last one. There may only be one left, or there may be 2 left. Actually, I think there's 2 in the series left after that. So then the other book in print that's on that stack, which I was supposed to read in December or before December, is by Philip Gulley, Life Goes On. So this is on the back burner. I'm still keeping it in the stack of, potential to read, but likely I'm not going to get to that this month. So as long as I read at least one book from stack 9, then I'm good. Then the next stack is to read one of the Home to Heather Creek books. I did not get this one read in December or January. I really want to read this month. So of all the different print books that I have left to start, this is probably the highest priority because I definitely want to finish that. And this is second priority unless my sister wants to buddy read the other one. So this is near the top of the list of books to print read because I really want to keep up with that series this year and be ready for the next Christmas book by next Christmas and not always be behind. Because those books kind of go along with the month. Like there's this one and then the next 3 and then there's one that has April in the title. So, they go along with the months pretty closely. Okay, so then the last of the 16 stacks is my TBR jar. So most of my TBR jar picks are nonfiction, and the one I have chosen from the stack I have left to read before I can draw more out is one by Dr. James Dobson. This is a really old one, but it looks really good. It's called What Wives Wish Their Husbands Knew About Women. So this just looks really easy to read, and I think it'll be interesting. So that's what I have next to read from books I've already chosen out of my TBR jar. And then, other than that, I've got just a few other random things like in order to meet my mystery goals for March Mystery Madness, there's a couple things I want to get to before, like Lillian Jackson Braun, The Cat Who Talked Turkey. I own an old library CD copy of that, so I would like to go ahead and get to this month, because after that I only have 5 Cat Who books left, and I want to read all 5 of those in March for March Mystery Madness, because that's the number 5. And so there's that goal. Also, a few other audiobooks that I've kind of got on in queue. A friend from my book club, my newest book club, lent me this, The Tiger's Wife. I guess her name is Taya Obrit, and she said it was just really, really good. It's historical fiction. So I discovered that my library has it on CD, and it just arrived today. So in my car, I will listen to that as soon as I finish the Kingdom Keepers book. Then I discovered that one of the standalones on my stack of 8 is on audio on Hoopla, and it's Spindle's End by Robin McKinley. I've been wanting to read this for a long time, and I didn't think I was going to be able to get it on audio, and there it is on Hoopla now. I'm sure I even checked before, and it was not there. It is a new edition, at least for me. So those are a couple of things that are on my list. Now, as far as what I'm currently reading right now, I'm still reading A Year with C.S. Lewis. And I sort of put this on the back burner during early part of February, but I'd like to get back to this. This is Having a Merry Heart in a Martha World by Joanna Weaver. And then for the Laura Ingalls Wilder readathon, or the Little House readathon, I started Little House on Rocky Ridge by Roger Lee McBride, and I'm just going to keep chinking away at that. And then I already mentioned Ghost of the Green Swamp. I'm reading that for book club. I need to get that finished by tomorrow. And there's something else I'm currently reading, but I can't. Oh, Comanche Moon. So is that 7? I'm currently reading 7 books. I feel like I'm missing something. Something I'm leaving off. Let's see. I've got a list here. Pull out the glasses. So, yeah. And Buried in a Bog. So I already mentioned that. Just want to make sure I covered everything. So I'm currently reading 7 books, and I have all these others that I would like to get to, but who knows how many I'll be able to get done in the next week and a half. So we shall see. Anyway, meanwhile, we are gearing up for March Mystery Madness. My TBR should be coming soon. A few people have already posted theirs. If you are a booktuber and you are participating, then I want to encourage you to post your own TBR and do a video. We would love that. There will be some Instagram challenges. There'll be a challenge each day, and I will be posting those challenges on my Instagram, and other hosts, if they want to post them on their Instagram, then they will be doing that as well. So you should be able to use the hashtag March Mystery Madness and find those as soon as they're up. And otherwise, I can't think of anything else. I'm getting tongue-tied. I can't think of anything else I need to tell you, except there will be some Twitter sprints, and those will be announced on our Twitter, which is at March Miss Madness. Be sure you check that out and follow us there. And I'll leave links to everything below that are necessary for March Mystery Madness, but I will be coming back soon with my TBR. So for now, that's all I have for this video. Oh, well, and I should say, be sure you check out the other hosts. We have 11 hosts this year, and several of them are doing their own challenges, so you'll need to check out their announcement videos to find out about their challenges and what they have going on this month. So it's going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be lots of fun things to do and participate in. So for now, this is where I am with my February reading, and I'll be coming back soon with another video. That's all for this video. I hope you're having a great day. Read a good book, and God bless you.